So here's a fun fact about me. Even though I'm a dating coach, I am a teacher of social skills. I myself have social anxiety. Okay. I think most dating coaches have social anxiety, at least some degree of it. That's kind of what draws us to this in the future. And that's what ultimately not only makes us get, good results by focusing on this so much, but it makes us the best teachers. And what you're about to learn in this video is the definitive guide, the best guide you will ever find in your life on smashing your approach anxiety. But a quick preamble, you will never eliminate it completely. Okay. It's not like you have a tumor that they cut out the tumor and then it's gone. I mean, sometimes tumors grow back, but assuming it was one of the types of tumors that doesn't grow back, they take out the tumor once, the surgery, it's gone, it never comes back. That's not how it works. It's more like going to the gym. The same way that you go to the gym, you build up a nice body, a nice physique. If you stop going to the gym, eventually you're going to lose your gains. You're going to lose all the muscle mass that you gained. We've been showing some beautiful girls on the screen right now. About 2/3 of these girls are from Instagram. 1/3 is from cold approach pickup, which is, I like, especially Daygame, I think is the purest form of game. I've had all my Instagram accounts banned. And even though my main bread and butter strategy was build a super high status social media and then get an online dating virtual assistant to source the girls for you, I've been forced against my will to go back to the basics. And I've always had the techniques and the baseline ability to approach women, and I've learned how to manage it in the past. Listen, I'm 36 years old. The first 100 to 150 girls I banged, Instagram wasn't even out, or certainly wasn't popular. If it was technically existed, I don't know, but it certainly wasn't popular and used. Tinder didn't even come out till I probably smashed like 120 girls, 100% from cold approach. So in this video, we're going to talk about why you have approach anxiety in the first place, and some real life techniques, some mindset stuff, but then also some actual techniques and a little bit of my formula for how I cold approach women, mostly day game, but all this stuff will apply at the nighttime as well. So let's talk about this. Why do you have approach anxiety in the first place? Let me actually say this first. The personality, everybody has multiple personalities within them, right? The charming, suave guy who says, just the right thing at just the right time and feels comfortable, and his comfort and relaxed vibe kind of oozes into the environment. Everybody feels comfortable around him and he walks in a room and just owns the room. That personality is within you. It exists within you at all times, but it could be stifled for one reason or another. I remember one time, quick story, I was in high school and a bunch of my friends we all UFC and Hoist Gracie and jiu-jitsu and all this stuff. That's kind of right when the UFC first started to kind of gain popularity around, let's say, I don't know, 2004, 2005. And my parents were gone. I think they were out of town or something like that. Had some people over, very little kickback party. It wasn't a party. It was probably 3 or 4 chicks, probably 3 or 4 or 5 dudes there. We all just hanging out, smoking weed, drinking, just being, bad little 16-year-old teenagers. And then one of the kids there was a wrestler. He was a bit smaller than me, but he was actually on the wrestling team at our high school. And we decided we are going to do jiu-jitsu and just see who could tap out the other one first. Now, it was just a foregone conclusion that I was going to lose. I had watched, a lot of videos on MMA, but I'd never really done it. I was a big fan of watching jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So we wrestled, and he was a wrestler. He wasn't necessarily trained in submissions and stuff, but we cleared out the furniture from my living room and we just put on this fight show. The girls are watching, the guys are watching, they're drinking, cheering, smoking, passing around a blunt. And lo and behold, I won. I tapped him out. I couldn't believe it. I tapped him out. Again, he was a bit smaller than me, but he was actually a wrestler and a real athlete. And it was just this underdog story where I beat him. I remember the surge of testosterone and confidence, because again, I had no confidence, no social skills. I was expected to lose, and just something the release of endorphins and testosterone and chemicals when that happened. I just jumped up. I started dancing, doing a little celebratory dance when I tapped him out. I couldn't, if you told me to get up and just do a dance right now, I couldn't. I would be super awkward. I don't know how to dance. But my point being is I had gained access to that super confident personality of mine. And then after that, bro, I was just the fucking man, and I was flirting with these girls. I had never really I was 16 years old, goddamn it. I never really flirted with the girl and had her flirt back. I had all the girls flirting with me, and not because it's not lions, the female just likes the alpha male winner, the guy who kicked the other guy's ass. It's not really it's not that. It was the way I acted, right? If I won the fight, but still acted like a chump afterwards, it wouldn't make a difference. It's because I had unlocked that personality. And with momentum and practicing your social skills, sharpening the knife and then keeping the blade sharp, you can keep that better, more confident dimension of your personality at the forefront. So the shy, insecure, ego-driven, validation-seeking guy who's very much dependent on, external validation and needing a certain outcome goes to the back, and the carefree, cool guy can come to the front. So the things that cause you to be stifled and not access this cool guy personality that I promise you, that cool guy, that Rico Suave, whatever personality is in you, okay? It's just stifled. It could be due because, again, maybe not even consciously, but subconsciously within that environment, within your guy friends that you perceive as cooler than you, or certainly approaching a gorgeous girl. You see like a nice, sexy, big booty Latina in the mall and you're about to go talk to her. You may subconsciously see yourself as lower status than that person. You may be super outcome dependent, like you need it to go well. I went on a date the other night, and for the first 15 to 20 minutes, I was nervous. Thank God she was very social. If there was like a little pause, like in the thing, again, I've been on, I don't know, 500, 1,000, 2,000 first dates. I could later try to calculate the math. I've been on hundreds, many hundreds, if not thousands of first dates. And this girl made me nervous. Why? She had the craziest waist to ass ratio I have ever seen. She was Brazilian. I'm not in Brazil right now, but she's an immigrant. She immigrated from Brazil over here. Her waist to ass ratio should be studied by science. It doesn't even make sense. If you threw a peanut at her ass, the peanut would probably orbit her ass. Her ass would probably have its own gravitational field. Her ass is that big with no waist, a gorgeous face, and like a feminine, sexy, outgoing, typical Brazilian personality on top of that. And I got to practice my Portuguese again, even though I'm in a Spanish-speaking country. Foi muito legal, né? So like, I just said something in Portuguese, right? I said, that's very cool. And I was nervous because I was outcome dependent. I wanted this outcome. I wanted to like, get photos with her. She was too shy. Maybe on the second or third day, we'll get some photos with her and whatever, we'll see. But at this point, she was like, no pictures. I'm shy, haha. But like, and not even for like the ego of getting her or to show, more receipts, show off to you guys. Cool. I really wanted that outcome. I needed it to go well. She had all the characteristics and looks, and like, if a beautiful girl that meets all your criteria doesn't intimidate you a little bit, there may be something wrong with you. But point being is like, even I have like outcome dependence, right? Even I have ego. Ego's a big thing. Women should be approaching me and, why would I lower myself and like, go talk to her? I smiled at her. She didn't smile back. So it's not a good time to approach. Could be ego, seeing yourself as lower status, and being outcome dependent. So let's talk about some ways to handle this. So the goal is this: reference experiences and staying in shape. Reference experiences and staying in shape. I want to come back to this quick side tangent. One thing for freedom of outcome with women is if you're dating a lot of girls and you go on a date or you're cold approaching a girl and like, oh shit, Sheila has like, she's feminine, she's submissive, she's sweet, she actually has a personality, she talks back, she seems smart. She's only, 23 years old. She's still very young. She's gorgeous. She has the craziest waist to ass ratio I've ever seen in my life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You will get a lot less nervous around this girl if you're dating other girls, right? If you have like, a girlfriend and you have, what I always do, which is the one-sided open relationship where I get to bang other chicks and she doesn't get to bang other guys. Obviously, that helps a lot too. Now, back to the, reference experiences and staying in shape. So again, the outcome dependence comes from, other things. We'll touch on that more, but that's just one thing I wanted to say before I forget is like having a rotation, having a lot of girls, or just knowing that like, again, like when I get my Instagram account back, it's like, oh, no matter what, if this approach doesn't go well, I got the VA finding me, 4 to 5 girls per day, right? Or I'm already dating these other girls. Or, back when I was throwing like parties to, oh, it doesn't matter if this approach doesn't go well. I'm going to be at a party. I'm going to do a 5-to-1 ratio, penthouse party this Saturday anyway, right? So back to what I was saying, reference experiences and staying in shape. So reference experiences are, and staying in shape. Successful examples that your brain can latch onto for why something is okay, for why you should feel good doing something, for why you shouldn't feel nervous or insecure about something. So we talk about this like, with skydivers and shit, right? Like the first time you jump out of a plane, you go skydiving, you're gonna be nervous as hell. Your heart's gonna be like beating out like a cartoon, like the Bugs Bunny, where like his heart's like beating out of his chest. By your 5th, 10th, 50th jump, maybe it's only a little bit of adrenaline. And then maybe if you've done the jump, hundreds or, thousands of times, by that point, you get virtually no increase in your heart rate whatsoever because you have so many, like, it's okay to jump out of planes. I know the parachute's going to open. I know this is successful. So reference experiences of successful approaches will go well. And also staying in shape. So here's some ways to handle like actually approaching. Then we're going to go into some mindset stuff, and then stay tuned to the end because I'm going to give like my actual like techniques about how I actually cold approach women. Okay. So one thing is progressive desensitization, which means you go out for the day and you start kind of small. Okay. So you can ask people for directions for places you already know how to get to. You can compliment people. You can ask people, say, hey, my phone just died. Do you know what time it is or something like that? Ask people for the time, whatever's, you could even like, flirt with a fatty. It's good karma, give a fatty a compliment, flirt with her, just don't text her or call her after that, but it's good karma. And that will really help you unlock that social aspect. Remember we said that you have like multiple personalities, multiple layers to your personality. That social guy, that cool guy is within you. It just needs to be warmed up. For anybody who's bilingual, you know what I'm talking about. For me to just like switch to talking to Portuguese or switch to talking to Spanish right now, there'd be a little bit of a like awkward thing as I get started. But say like, for example, when I was on a date with that Brazilian girl last night, took me about 15, 20 minutes, but after a while, my Portuguese started coming out very, very, very fluently. I just needed to kind of like warm up, like, the area of the hard drive that like the Portuguese is in. You need time to warm up like the part of the brain where that's very present, that's very social, that's carefree, and just it's the cool guy personality. It's the unstifled cool guy, make everybody around you feel good type personality, right? The next one is the brute force method. So this is one that you can do once you're kind of like have momentum when you've been doing this. Just to kind of skip ahead, the part where I say get reference experiences and stay in shape means like don't skip the gym, right? Don't skip talking to people. Try to never go more than a day or two without at least doing one or two approaches. If you're in a time in your life where you can't do that, chat up the Uber driver, chat up, the random person you're going up, in the elevator with, chat up, like, be social, go do dinners with friends and have them bring new people, meet new people. That really, really carry over a lot to women as well. Though ideally you want to keep your skill set sharp. Once you like somewhat get in a phase where like you're getting good results, you've quote unquote, conquered your approach anxiety, which could take a long time. For some of you guys, it may take a long time where you're like, oh shit, like I actually did approach and I actually like wasn't nervous. And I'm going to talk about, again, using my method, I can all but guarantee that eventually, it won't happen overnight, but if you stick to this, you will start getting these positive reference experiences. Just experience cold approach women. If it's a whole bunch of like instant rejections, will not, for the most part, cure your anxiety that much. It'll definitely help a little bit because you'll see that like, oh, walking up to women and getting rejected isn't the end of the world. You may get at least, 10 seconds, 15, 20 seconds in sometimes before you get, blown out. But actually getting success and actually these positive reference experiences will do better. And the brute force method is just what it sounds like. You just go in and you can talk to women. Actually, this is something that Ozzy from RSD, shout out to Ozzy from Real Social Dynamics. He came out with something called fear tech. And this is a bit of a ballsy technique, but it works really, really well. I was out doing Daygame one time, and what the fear tech stuff is, or, brute force method is, you can find the most difficult set that's like impossible and approach that. And that probably won't go well. But then after that, nothing could possibly give you anxiety. So I'll give you an example. I did this 2 days ago. I'm pretty sure they were OnlyFans models. These were like, heavily like done up, operated on chicks. They still looked good though. They weren't like too far. I don't really like the super like silicone Barbies. Like they had natural like good features to begin with, but you can tell they had a lot of work done. They were wearing super expensive designer clothes in an extremely poor country that I'm in right now. And they were with some guy that he just looked like a total fuckboy. He looked like he was their manager. Or maybe they were just high school buddies catching up, getting a cup of coffee. I don't know. But I went to this cafe and I approached the guy. I said, bro, how do you do it? Tell me, how do you do it? He's like, huh? How do I do what? I was like, bro, you're here with not one, but two gorgeous women. Most guys can't even get one gorgeous girl. How do you do it, bro? He's like, oh, well, he was a bit rude. He was just like, oh, well, some things can't be taught. Some things, you either got it or you don't. It just can't be taught to some people. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. He wasn't like rude, but again, I am walking up to him as a total stranger, trying to take his girls. And then I said, is any of them your girlfriend? He's like, nope, none of them are with me. None of them are my girlfriend. I'm like, all right, cool. So I just turned to the hotter one. I'm like, hey, sorry to interrupt you guys, but I just thought you were cute. And, maybe I'll just grab your phone number. Again, I would have asked for Instagram, but Instagram is banned right now. And I said, yeah, let me just get your phone number. And she's like, haha, no, gracias. And I was like, okay, bye. Now, listen, would it have been better to maybe make some conversation before instantly going for the phone number? Maybe. That also could have been like, put a lot of social pressure. The guy might have started getting very confrontational, told me to leave. And then even if the girl likes me, if her guy friend is like getting like the social pressure, again, even if she liked me, would have been too much. Could it have done better? But listen, I'm approaching like a literal 10 that's like had work done. That's clearly somebody's sugar baby. When she's with a guy and another girl putting all the social pressure on her, for her to give her number to me in that situation would have been a lot. And I got rejected. I didn't get the phone number. But point being, after that, no, like the one like cute girl alone just kind of strolling slowly through the mall, nothing could possibly be intimidating after that. So and that's something too you can tell yourself, right? Like your only metric of success is just that you go in and you gave it a good effort and you tried. You just fucking tried. Like you actually just motherfucking tried. Because who could pull that off? Who's your favorite dating coach? Todd V Dating? Owen Cook? Coach Kyle? I don't know, who teaches pickup these days? Dave Pro? I don't know. Do you think Coach Kyle with a high degree of success is going to approach two OnlyFans models with their manager getting a coffee in the middle of the day and just like walk off with a successful number? Maybe he could. Not saying he couldn't, but is anybody going to do that with a high degree of success? No, it's just too much social pressure. So that's kind of like, the fear tech stuff. Another thing is, we talked about this, reframing. Your only outcome dependence should be that like you did it or you didn't do it. If the outcome is like you left your house to talk to girls and you actually like talk to girls, that should make you happy. That should be your only criteria of success. And then beyond that, staying in shape, which we talked about, never trying to go more than 2 to 3 days at the most without talking to women, and building it into your lifestyle. So something I've talked about in other videos is strategy, okay? At the like top level of this, for any reason you're not getting girls, is because you don't have a good strategy. Maybe you don't have a good online strategy. You haven't learned the power of Instagram. You're still a loser schmuck who thinks like dating apps are going to get you a quality girl. Oh my God. Use Instagram. I have free trainings in the video description. I'll actually get on a call with you and give you a free Instagram audit. Daygame is awesome too, though. Don't stop doing Daygame. Instagram could just be a better ROI on your time. But back to the Daygame approach anxiety concept, which we're staying on topic with. One of the disadvantages of it is it can be very low return on investment for your time. So going back to the concept of strategy and building it into your lifestyle. I live next door to this mall. Shit, I got to get over there. It's about to be lunch hour. At lunchtime, at the lunch hour, at this mall in this city that I'm in, which I won't name, it's like a model convention around lunchtime. It's around all these, the genetics in this city are just fucking crazy. It's not Medellin, Colombia, by the way. It's the only other city in the world that I think could like match Medellin, Colombia in terms of like natural beauty. Like every girl is gorgeous in this city, but I won't name it because many reasons. At lunchtime, the girls all swarm into this mall, into the food court, and I can knock out, boom, 3-4 sets, sometimes within like 30 minutes. I can just go from set, chill with my boys, grab a bite to eat, another set, walk around a bit more, doing some days it's just like set, like approach, sometimes a bit slower. But point being is like, you got to position yourself next to, I don't know, a university campus, some area where, for whatever reason, it's like a social area. It's like, there's some streets in like Hollywood, like a Whole Foods, right? Like, the Whole Foods on, what was it, Santa Monica and Fairfax, if my memory serves. I used to live in Los Angeles for like, I don't know, up until I was 28 years old. I used to live in West Hollywood or WeHo for many years. But yeah, wherever that Whole Foods is in Hollywood, again, I believe it's Santa Monica and Fairfax. I position myself so like I can walk and 5-6 minutes I can be in Whole Foods, and 90% of the time I'm going to see a beautiful girl that's worth approaching within 5 minutes of stepping into that Whole Foods, right? But again, if you live in some like, I don't know, the suburbs of Cincinnati, that's not a good strategy for your dating life. Now, if you have to be there, this is where things like Instagram can take over, right? This is where again, we're trying to keep this on approach anxiety, limiting approach anxiety. But like, I'm just saying, on the concept of keeping in shape, on the concept of not only getting over your approach anxiety once, but staying in shape, continue to approach girls, living geographically in an area where you can actually get a good ROI in your time. You live near a metro station, or you just make the time. You take the 10-minute Uber, the 15-minute Uber to a packed metro station at 6:45 at peak time, and there's just swaths of girls. Always get girls coming off the metro, not onto the metro, right? Because when they're off the metro, they have more time. They're not trying to catch the next train. Okay, real quick, we're going to talk about actual techniques I do for day game and controlling approach anxiety. But first, I want to talk about a few things first with your mindset. So there's like the game, right? The technical aspect of the game, like understanding female psychology, what you say, how you lead the interaction, how you move things forward. Techniques like, I guess, negging, not that I'm a huge fan of negging, and how you bust the girl's balls, how you respond to shit tests, things like that a little bit, don't like neg the girl, make your little teases extremely light. But there's also the game outside of the game, AKA mindset stuff. So, in pickup and PUA parlance, it's called the game outside of the game. Andrew Tate calls this mental Aikido. Basically, the way I look at it is like this, right? Imagine you have a bouncer in front of your brain, right? Like at a nightclub, right? The bouncer's job at a nightclub is to only let the beautiful girls into the nightclub. The bouncer's job is to only let the positive, self-serving thoughts enter your brain. Okay, what you focus on, if you focus on negativity and all the unfairness in the world, like, oh, why did I even have to leave America in the first place? It would have been great if feminism never took hold, and American women used to be fairly feminine and now they're all masculine, and hey man, like I could choose to focus on that, or I could not choose to focus on that and have gratitude that I can just go to another country, learn a foreign language, and get absolutely stunningly beautiful, better women here in this country, and just not be a little bitch and not cry about it. So this is something Tony Robbins talks about too. Again, this is like the only like woo-woo thing. We'll get into like actual techniques in a second, but like, again, think of a bouncer that's like negative thought, you are not allowed let in. Like negative thoughts are like the fat chick, okay? Negative thoughts, self-judgment, being too hard on yourself is the fat girl, and you don't let the fat girl in the club. And then the positive thoughts are the ones you do enter into your mindset. Positivity is a huge one, only letting thinking on positive stuff. Gratitude, again, we're going to stop being woo-woo in a second, but if you literally just took time to do like gratitude practice, listen, I'm not like a great teacher of like Eastern philosophy or like the Buddha or something like that, but true enlightenment is through presence and gratitude. Meditation changed my life. Meditation changes your brain. Meditation gives you the natural effects of what it'd be like to take a shot of alcohol or take a Xanax pill. If you don't meditate and do a brain scan and then meditate for a while, up to like 30 minutes a day for 6 weeks, and you go back to do another MRI, another brain scan, the doctor can show you on the brain scan, your prefrontal cortex, the gray matter in your prefrontal cortex will be a few nanometers denser and thicker. You can see the physical changes, irrefutable physical changes caused by meditation before and after your brain. It'll make you more present, and you can't overthink or get too much anxiety when you're just living in the present moment. Okay, now on to my techniques. Okay, so I'll do a whole other like breakdown longer about like, the full techniques. One is like, choosing a good location, going somewhere where there's a good return on investment for your time, where you can find a lot of hot girls in like a condensed time frame. We talked about that a little bit. Here's how I open though, right? This is a big question that I get all the time. So these days, again, you can open with the classic, I thought you were cute. You can do some type of situational opener based on the environment you're in. You can compliment her fashion. You can say something about her look. You can just walk up and start cold reading her like, oh, are you Italian? You look like you're Italian, whatever. There's many ways to open, but this is just how I've been doing it. I've been getting fantastic, world-class, elite level results doing it this way. Is I open with a question that the answer is likely to be no, but if it is a yes, it allows me to qualify her. I'll say that again. Let me actually define what qualifying is. Qualifying is giving a girl a personalized, genuine, and unique compliment about her that's going to make her feel cool and unique and special. That is not her looks. Qualifying the girl is giving her a unique compliment about her that's going to make her feel special, that has nothing to do with her looks. So ask her a question that I think the answer is going to be no to, but if it's not, it's a great opportunity to qualify her. So what I do these days is I walk up to girls and I say, hey, excuse me, 1 second, do you speak English? And if they say no, I can give them a light tease. I wouldn't call it a neg, but I give them a light tease. I say, do you speak English? No? Oh, it's okay. Nobody's perfect, but maybe we can fix that. Anyway, I thought you were cute and I wanted to meet you. But that little like, oh, you don't speak English? Oh, it's okay. Nobody's perfect. Anyway, they kind of like, oh. They give like a little chuckle. It's Brad from RSD kind of called it like value slap. He said that with voice though. Actually, we're going to talk about voice and eye contact in a second, but it's a little bit of like, just a little bit of a ballsy thing. It's like she knows nothing about you. You're approaching confidently and you're like, oh, you don't speak English? That's okay. Nobody's perfect. Anyway, so da-da-da. And then if she does speak English, I don't get my chance to give her my light little tease, but I can say, oh, wow, you do speak. That's amazing. How did you learn it? And, actually, I'm trilingual. I speak English, Spanish, and Portuguese. So, I guess two smart people, two, talented language people meeting, what are the odds of that, right? Some other examples, you can say, like, if you're doing a game in Miami, you can say, hey, excuse me, are you from here? Are you from Miami? She's going to say, yes, I am from Miami. Oh, you are? Oh, it's okay. Nobody's perfect. But anyway, I just wanted to meet you. And she's like, well, why do you say that? And you can go, well, Miami girls, like, let me guess, you were at Live last weekend, or well, I don't even know what clubs, Komodo last week, kind of tease her on how Miami girls are. And if she says, no, I'm not from Miami, you go, oh, thank God you're not from Miami. Okay, I could tell you had a vibe about you. Like, I had a feeling you weren't a Miami girl. And so I guess that's great. I guess you're not selling feet pictures on OnlyFans then, right? Ha, ha, ha. So it's like, if she says yes to the question, it could be like a little bit of a tease. And in the odd chance that she says no, you can tease her. If she says yes, you get a chance to qualify her. Are you Christian? No, you're not? Okay, nobody's perfect. Oh, you are Christian. Great. Like, whatever it is, it's either a chance for you to give her a unique compliment, build a connection based on something that's unique to her, okay? Because not every girl is Christian. Not every girl in a Latin American country speaks English. Not every girl is, I don't know, not from Miami, you know what it is? So that's my thing, right? Because it's a win-win. Either you get to qualify and give her a unique compliment, and she'll be like, how did you know that? Like you walk up to her and say, are you a brain surgeon? Again, most girls are going to say, no, I'm not a brain surgeon, and then nobody's perfect. But then in the odd chance that she is a brain surgeon, you can say, oh, that's fantastic. I had that. I could just kind of tell. She's like, how could you tell, right? But obviously, no girls are going to say yes to that one. Pick something that, be a little different than that. But the next things which I touched on are, okay, so we talked about opening, right? A question that she's likely to say no to, so that if she says no, you can tease her. If she says yes, you can give her a unique compliment, a qualification. As you're walking up to her, you don't want to be focused on too much. You want to be mostly present in the moment, but you want to be focusing on your voice and your eye contact. Your voice and your eye contact, your voice and your eye contact. When it comes to communicating confidence, those are the two things. So eye contact is easy. You're looking in her eyes. So for example, she asks you a question like, what are you doing here? And you have to like think, and like you look up real quick. It's not the end of the world, but for the most part, try to keep, eye contact for the most part with like looking away every once in a while as normal human beings. Don't not Hannibal Lecter eye contact and not constantly looking around all the time. Just like a healthy combination of like, for the most part, you're looking her dead in the eyes and you glance away once in a while without getting paranoid of like, she has to break eye contact first. I can't be the one to break eye contact first. If you're doing that, you're in your head, you're overthinking it. It doesn't matter. Anybody who teaches you that advice is a fucking schmuck, okay? The second thing is your voice, which is good vocal tonality. If you can record yourself, check the local laws where you live. You don't want to get in trouble. Side tangent, I knew a guy who actually went to jail in South Korea for filming himself doing cold approach pickup in public because you cannot film people, even in public, in Korea. He like legitimately went to jail for this, okay? So your voice and your eye contact. So if you can record yourself, you'll actually notice yourself doing this, where you'd be like, oh, come on. Oh, so what are you doing here? So you're just doing some shopping? Yeah, you're just out here doing some shopping? You don't want to, oh, so what's up? You're just doing some shopping today? Or you could say, like, give me your phone number. You know what? We should keep in contact. Give me your number. Just Give me your number. On the open, you can even do like a little bit of that breaking for rapport tone, like, hey, 2 seconds. Almost like you're almost angry. Again, that's what Brad called the value stuff. But it's got to be positive dominance. If you're ever going to use a breaking tonality rapport with a girl, you got to have a big smile on your face as you do it. And definitely want to smile as you're looking. You definitely like a sly, little smirk as you're just staring, kind of like a smoldering, kind of like this type of smile, right? And have a good voice. And here's one of my biggest gold nuggets that helped me out massively helped me out is when you're cold approaching a girl, it's paradoxical. You want to be fully present, fully observing the data in front of you, fully not thinking, not judging, control your heartbeat, control your breath, just like not zoom out, but zoom into the moment. Paradoxically, you want to zoom out from the moment and be aware of your voice and your eye contact and also the cadence of your speech. When you're nervous, you tend to talk really, really quickly and slur and stumble and stutter your words, okay? So I'll go up to a girl and I'll be like, yeah, so I just noticed because I was with my friend over there and I thought, damn, that's a really pretty girl, red dress. She probably wanted some attention. So I said, hey, I got to go talk to that girl. Do you see that change there? I start off nervous, but I might have to say, Casey, you're stumbling. Casey, you're stuttering. Casey, you're talking too quickly. And then I bring it back. So I'll be like, yeah, so do you work around here? Because like the way that you're dressed, you got the heels on and let me guess. You work at a bank. You're good with numbers or something like that. I don't know, whatever it is, right? But you notice when you're talking too quickly, when you're kind of talking like this because you're really fast and you're kind of breathing heavy. So it's really hard for the human brain to focus on more than one thing at a time. And eventually a lot of this will become unconscious, but you really, must again, eye contact, voice, and then observe, hear yourself. Okay. Fucking hear yourself talking. I really want to emphasize this. Okay. Don't forget this. Next time you see a pretty girl and you're going to go talk to her, pretend like you're there's this floating drone that is recording you. You will be shocked if you actually pay attention to how you're talking to girls. Again, you're going to be talking too quickly. You're going to be stumbling, mumbling. But again, it's weird. Because it's paradoxical, right? Being present and then overanalyzing your voice and eye contact is conflicting things. I get it, but you can be present and focus and train yourself to be better at these things too. And this one change of just listening to myself as I talk and focusing on my eye contact has made a big difference. And just being comfortable, quite frankly, just staying in shape, like we talked about earlier. Fixing approach anxiety is not a one-time thing. I've seen dating coaches, problem is they have remember I said there's a lot of reasons for having your cool guy, carefree, independent of outcome, no fucks given personality is ego. So you see this especially with dating coaches. I won't say any names, but I've seen very, very popular dating coaches. Maybe they hear that I'm good with women too. Maybe they're oh, if I'm meeting Casey Redbeard, I want to I don't want to get blown out when I'm approaching with him because, I heard he's really good with girls too, right? And maybe he took a few days off. A guy who lives in nightclubs or lives in whatever shopping malls and university campuses, Daygame, approaching girls all day, lives on the streets of Leicester Square in London, whatever it is, and approaches, takes 2 or 3 or 4 days off. And it's they've already kind of lost that instant reflex. Just see a girl, go and talk. See a girl, go talk. See a girl, go talk. And when you're doing this, this Daygame thing, you want to, again, really try. It's like the gym. For most guys, unless you have incredible genetics, you damn near have to be in the gym 5 to 6 days a week. It's really hard to stay with this and actually improve if you're letting big gaps go in between your approach. That's why it comes back to what I said, strategy of, for example, living in an area where you're adjacent to a high volume place where you can do Daygame. And, if you're young and you can stay up all night and you want to do night game because you're 22 and you want to experience life and do parties, night game is fine too. It's probably in your 30s You probably shouldn't be doing too much night game. So building in, location and stuff, finding wingmen, it's all part of your overall strategy. And as I've talked about before, even though I'm not using it right now, even though I'm only doing day game right now for circumstances out of my control, my favorite method, my like best strategy that I've ever come up with is the high status social media profile paired with a virtual assistant. Look, this is like as if I had like an identical twin. Like if I had an identical twin who could go out and like get phone numbers for me and bring the phone numbers to me. And then I call the girl and I show up on the date and she was talking to my identical twin, but now I show up and she never knows. That's what this works like, because a girl would never know that like the virtual assistant did like, the initial contact and sent the first couple messages before it was like the first couple messages to like filter her for interest. She would never know that she was talking to a virtual assistant and not like the real me. So in terms of like best ROI on your time now, this doesn't mean you stop doing day game. Just because Instagram is better, the girls are hotter, the volume is infinite, ROI on your time, it can be outsourced so you can save your time for other, entrepreneurial endeavors or gym or friends or whatever it is you like to do with your time, does not mean you stop doing game, pickup, day game and stuff like that, because that sharpens the sword and just makes your dates will go better. There's no point in getting, a whole bunch of dates with the girls on Instagram if you're a chump in real life and girls don't like your personality. So do day game and contact me if you want a free Instagram audit and you want to know more about this strategy stuff that I do for Instagram, or if you want to learn more about day game, just shoot the shit with me. My contact information is in the description of this video. And that's all, boys. Cheers.